dictates every move of your life. God has a greater plan for your life than going back to the dregs of what used to be.
That's a fact, Pastor.
Moab is ultimately a load and a land of wanderers. It is a common story in the Word of God and in human nature. There is a spiritual wandering from God and from His Word and from His Spirit and from the church and from the sanctuary that provides safety. It is a wandering that is sad and fatal because all the words of Naomi, she went full and returned back full of bitterness in spirit. And that's what Moab held for Orpah, who chose to go back. To go back to Moab means a constant discontentment, always looking for another country. To go back to Moab means you walk by sight and not by faith. To go back to Moab means you live in a state of instability and double-mindedness.
That's true.
James says a double-minded man is what? Unstable in all his ways. That's why people that live half-heartedly for God, that's why people that don't commit totally to God, they're always battling inside of their mind. I know I'm doing wrong, but I just enjoy it so much.
My God, Jesus.
I wouldn't stand here and tell you that sin is not full of pleasure. But it's only for a season.
It's temporary.
It's only for a season.
It's a quick fix.
You enjoy that brief moment of sin, and then what comes? Death. To go back to Moab means continuing in Moab and dying in Moab. To go back to Moab means that there will be no returning to life.
None.
To go back to Moab means that one will live under the rule of self forever.
My God, Jesus.
I want you to know this flesh. I told a young man that's been working back here with me some, I told him the other day, I said, I want you to understand something. Sin takes you further than you intended to go.
Than you ever want to go.
In your mind, I'm going to stop this. I'm going to cut it short. I'm not going to go all the way to this. And the next thing you know, you have walked away from God.
Oh, God.
When Orpah turned back to Moab, she placed herself in with a company of men who were exposed to true life, but never had the ability to turn in the right direction. The Bible says they're ever learning, but never coming to a knowledge of truth.
My God.
The Bible says Felix trembled.
Oh, yes.
And says, come to me later at a more convenient time.
Oh, my God.
Herod gladly heard the word of God, but turned from it. Balaam prophesied. Judah said at the Last Supper, Eve lost paradise for a taste of the forbidden fruit.
My God.
The Gadarenes lost the Christ because of their concern for their pigs. Think about that. The Gadarenes lost Christ because they were so concerned for their pigs.
My God, Jesus.
If you go back in the Old Testament and study, the Gadarenes were a tribe of people from the tribe of Gad. And when they crossed over and went into the Promised Land, the tribe of Gad said, we're going to stay on this side of Jordan. The land's good out here. There's plenty of water. Everything looks great. There's trees here. We're going to stay on this, just this side.
My God.
There's a lot of people trying to live for God today just on this side of holiness.
Oh.
There's a lot of people today that are trying to live for God just this side of the promises of God. That's what happened to the tribe of Gad. And so later we find in the New Testament Jesus going to their island, and when he got there and he landed on their shore, there was a man that came whose name was Legion. Legion was from the tribe of Gad. demon possessed. I want you to understand something. When you stay just this side of where you need to be with God, you're opening your family up to demonic spirits. When you stay just this side of holiness, you're opening your family up to things that you should not allow.
Oh God.
This will happen every time when one goes back to Moab. Reading, I was studying this week in the Preacher's Homiletic Commentary, Volume 7, section on Ruth, on page 20. It said, it was said of Athens that it was a good place to pass through,
My God.
but a dangerous place to stay. Moab was a good place maybe to pass through,
Yes, sir.
but it was a dangerous place to live in.
To stay. Yes, sir.
To the faithful Israelite, Moab could have been no more than this, but it was written of Amalek, he continued there.
Okay.
He didn't just go through Moab. When he got there, he bought him a house.
My God, Jesus.
He got him some livestock. And he started trying to raise his family in an idolatrous city.
Come on.
As you value your souls, beware of the world
Yes.
and the things of the world. He said, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world.
Yes.
Because if we love the world, the love of the Father is not in us. What ruined Lot's wife? Looking back. The angel of the Lord told her and Lot, said, take your family and flee.
Get out of here.
And don't look back.
Get out of here, Lot.
What ruined Achan? Achan was a young man that had promising future in front of him.
Yes, sir.
And Joshua said, when we go to the city of Ai, he said, and when we destroy it, God said to reward you guys, don't touch nothing.
Leave it alone.
All the spoils of Ai is unto God. Don't touch it.
Leave them be.
One got a hold of Achan. The Bible says a little wedge of gold. A beautiful Babylonian garment.
My God.
And what did he do, Sister Lucretia, with it? He took it even after God said, don't.
Buried it under his tent.
He ran back to his tent. He lifted the edge of the tent up. He took his shovel, dug him a hole, hid it in there and buried it. Every time you hide something, should tell you, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. If I got to hide it, if I got to try to pretend it's not here when it really is,
My God, Jesus.
they went to battle at Ai, and when they did, Ai destroyed 30 young men. Joshua screamed retreat, and they went back to their village. And when they got there, Joshua went to the Lord, and he said, Lord, what happened? Every time we went to battle, you were always with us. What happened? And God said, sin is in the camp.
It's here.
Achan didn't say a word. I got it hid. You can't hide sin from God. I don't care how deep you try to bury it. I don't care if you buy the best room garden shade that money can buy. When you are in your house with sin, amen, you can't hide it.
You will not hide it.
Joshua said, Lord, what do I do? He said, draw lots. And the person that the lot falls upon, sin lies in his door.
Kill him.
You know what they mean when you draw lots? They had a bunch of little sticks. All of them was long except one. But they run them all up to the top, so he had a whole big old basket full. And they went from man to man drawing, and I could just see Achan, oh God, Joshua looked at him and says, what have you done? God has been blessing us. God has been giving us victory. But now God told me sin lies at the door.
Oh God.
Achan took him out there and raised up the corner of his tent. He pulled out that wedge of silver or gold and that Babylonian garment. And the Bible says that Joshua took him, his wife, his kids, his aunts, his uncles, everybody that was from the lineage of Achan. They took him and they slew him.
Killed every last.
That's how serious God is about sin. You see, when you sin, it don't just affect you. It affects your children. It affects your wife. It affects your husband. It affects your kinfolks. Sin lies at the door.
Yes, sir.
I don't know about you. I don't want to go back to Moab. I don't want to go back. I know the things that I'm doing is wrong, preacher, but I just can't help it. I like doing it. You better crucify your flesh. You better lay that flesh on an altar somewhere and say, Lord, put the blood on my flesh. Oh God, I know you said the Spirit's willing, but God, I live in weak flesh. Don't go back to Moab.
Amen.
What ruined Haman? The world. What ruined Judas? 30 pieces of silver.
Blood money.
What ruined Simon? The world. What ruined Demas? Paul said, send me someone because Demas has forsaken me. Having what? Loved this present world. And because he had a love for the world, Paul said, I can't use him. He said, every time I go to witness to somebody, they're telling me, well, Demas said I could do it. I want you to understand something. If God's word says thou shalt not, you better not do it. Because if you do, you're looking back to Moab.
That's Moab.
Oh, Jesus.
My God, I don't want to go back.
As you value your souls, beware of the world. What shall it profit a man if he gain the whole world and do what?
And he still
Lose his soul. In Joshua 24:15, he says that if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord, if you think it's just too hard, if you think there's just too much to give up, there's just too many things that the Bible says I can't do that I like doing, you go right ahead and look back at Moab, and when the flames of hell are looking at your feet, you're going to go, oh God, I wish I would have brought my flesh into subjection.
I didn't have to be here.
Joshua said, if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord, choose you this day whom you will serve. Whether the gods which your fathers served that are on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land you dwell. But as for me and my house, I want you to understand something, men. You've got to take a stand. As for me and my house, because as the priest of the home, Brother Zeno, I'm responsible for what goes on in my family. I'm responsible for what happens. I've got grown, I don't have children, I've got grown sons and daughters, but they'll still take it. My grandson called me here a while back and was telling me, I said, you know that's wrong. Because you sound just like Mama.
I told you
I
that's
said, your
wrong.
mama's supposed to sound like me. I said, because I preached to her, it's wrong. And I said, she knows. Well, that's what she told me. She said, if you don't believe me, call Paul. He said, I knew what you was going to tell me before I called. Thank God he knows. Thank God. The world needs to know where our boundary lines are. The world needs to understand. I'm not looking back to Moab. I'm looking unto Jesus, the author and the finisher of my faith.
Hallelujah, Jesus.
There's others who have never backslidden.
Eternity.
This thing, this commitment and a deeper walk with God keeps drawing me. Please do not turn back to the way you were living before the Lord found you. We still need you in the house of God for church. I sent some texts out this morning. What I was doing, looking around to see who was missing, and I said, you need to be in church. Out of 5 texts, I got 4 replies. want you to understand something. Sometimes your children knows what they're doing is wrong, but they need a parent to say, hey, that's wrong.
Amen. Amen.
I told my family the other day, I said, God did not give you children so you could be their best friend.
That's right. Amen.
That's not the way it's supposed to go.
I said, you love them, you care for them, you do everything that you can, but if you truly love them, you're going to tell them you're wrong. The Word of God said He chastises those that He loves. Amen. We still need people living up to your energized prayer life. We still need your boldness witnessing to people.
Come on.
I don't know about you, but I can never go back to Moab. And that ought to be the heartbeat of every single one of us in this church. I don't want to look like the world. I don't want to act like the world. I don't want to be like the world. I don't want to dress like the world. I don't want to talk like the world. I don't want to go where the world goes. Why? Because God called me out. Peter said, come out from among them and be ye separate, said the Lord. I'm supposed to look different and talk different and walk different. I'm supposed to be changed. What was it that made Ruth so different from Orpah? It was all a matter of desire. Desire. The self-denial that caused Orpah to stumble was like a winking diamond in Ruth. As the lights of heaven played on the treasure, Ruth began to determine in her heart that she would be radically different.
Amen.
When Ruth determined to go on to Judah and leave Moab forever behind, she stepped into the very greatness of the halls of history.
You better believe that.
The decision. The Lord said, blessed are they that believe and have not
I've
seen.
never seen it.
Sometimes we base our faith on what we can see. But that is not faith. Faith is a substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. That man got down over there, got an old wheelbarrow, put it up on that cable. He said, how many believes I can push it all the way across Niagara Falls? And everybody there, yeah! Everybody believed.
Come on.
He said, now who wants to ride in the wheelbarrow?
Who's going to get in?
Zilch, nobody. The excitement died down, and all of a sudden, a little 10-year-old boy made his way through the crowd, Brother Darren. He walked up there and said, sir, I'll ride that wheelbarrow. That news reporter got his mic down there. He said, son, tell us why you will get in that wheelbarrow and let that man push you across the falls. How can you trust him? He said, he's my daddy.
That's my daddy.
This ain't his first trip over the falls. This isn't his first trip. I trust my daddy, and that's our problem today. We don't trust God enough.
He won't drop you.
As long as we can see it, Lord, the bills are due, and I don't know what I'm doing. And clean over there, cutting electricity off, and you're still going, oh God. And then all of a sudden, God makes a way.
In the
He makes
next
a way.
time. Hallelujah.
And because we see it make a way, then we believe it.
Come on.
Then it's, yeah. But sometimes God wants us to get in the wheelbarrow.
Before that.
That's right.
God bless you this morning. You got your Bibles, turn with me to the book of Ruth.
Hallelujah, Jesus.
Lord would lead me along about these scriptures.
My
I
God.
thank God He did, because when I began to study, He opened things up that I had not seen before.
Oh, my Jesus.
Ruth chapter 1, verses 14 through 18. We're so glad that you're here today.
Ah,
We
Jesus.
need to pray for those that are out. If you see me going amiss sometimes, I'm on the phone checking to see where people are at.
Uh-huh.
I called him, where are you at? And he said, we didn't make it today. I said, now I know. Why? Brother T, I was at district conference one year, or at camp meeting, and I hadn't got there yet. And my phone rang at my house.
Come on.
And it was my pastor, Brother Teddy.
Yes, sir.
He said, come Sebastian. I said, oh, ça va bien. He said, no, it ain't ça va bien because you're not at camp meeting.
You're not in your seat.
And you know that you're supposed to be here. I said, we're packing, we're coming, we're just running late. He said, okay, when you get here, get my attention so I know that you're here.
Way to flag me down.
And I had called the district office, and I had told his secretary, please let Brother Timmy know we're coming, we're just running late. We had some problems I had to take care of before I come. And she forgot to tell him. Guess who got it chewing out? We both did.
Yes, sir.
He said, when you call here and my secretary answers, you tell her, transfer me to Brother Timmy.
Find me.
Brother Zeno talks about it all the time. If you can't be in church, just call the pastor and let him know, because as pastors, we are concerned for our people.
Deeply concerned.
Over the years, I have inherited a nickname, Hound Dog. Little boy told me, he said, Brother Perkins, you called one time, and my daddy said, oh, Hound Dog's calling. I said, your daddy said that? Uh-huh.
What happened?
That baby was innocent. So when they came to church the next time, I said, praise the Lord, this is Brother Hound Dog, how are you? He didn't know what to say.
Amen.
I said, your little boy told me when I rang last week, you said, oh Lord, that's Hound Dog. He said, I'll kill him. He said, because I tell my kids what I say in my house stays in my house. I said, yeah, but that don't concern you, Pastor. But I'm thankful, and I do. If you're not here, I try to find out why. Probably everyone in here can almost attest to that.
That's the gospel.
I check. Why, Brother Perkins? Because I have to give an account to God for your soul. So if you can't come, just send me a text or call or something. Somebody told me one time, said it's easier to ask forgiveness than to get permission.
Wow.
Can you believe that?
Holy smoke.
We know you was going to tell us not to go, so we just went in and went because we wanted to go, and we just asked your forgiveness when we get back. People. God bless you. Ruth chapter 1, verses 14 to 18. And they lifted up their voice and wept again. And Orpah kissed her mother-in-law, but Ruth clave unto her. And she said, Behold, thy sister-in-law is gone back unto her people. And what? And unto her gods. Plural. Return thou after thy sister-in-law. And Ruth said, Entreat me not to leave thee,
Don't tell me to leave.
or to return from following after thee.
Yes. For whither thou goest, I will go. And
Where thou lodgest, I will lodge. Thy people shall be my people, and thy God my God. Where thou diest, will I die, and there will I be buried. The Lord do so to me, and more also, if all but death part thee and me. And when she saw that she was steadfastly minded to go with her, then she left speaking. In other words, she just hushed. No matter what I say, Ruth's going with me. I want to preach to you for a little while this morning. I will not go back to Moab.
I will not go back to Moab.
I will not go back to Moab. I know Orpah did, but I won't. And Moab is representative of the world. Let's pray. Lord, we love you.
Help us to be like Ruth, God.
We realize, God, that once we make our minds up, and we have to make our minds up, I will not go back to Moab. Help us, dear God, to get that determination and get that confidence that we need, Lord, to submit ourselves unto you and to live holy and righteous.
Nothing to go back to.
In Jesus' name we pray. And everybody said amen. God bless you. You may be seated. Look at your neighbor and say, I'm not going back.
I will not go back.
I will not go back to what God took me out of.
I refuse to go back.
It kind of blows my mind, and I don't have a big mind. It overloads sometimes. It really does. But it blows my mind how anyone, I mean anyone, can think that I can keep living where I was at when I had to come out of that to get God.
Still make it to heaven.
I had to give these things up for God to fill me with the Holy Ghost. How can I think I can go back and wade out into some of that and still keep going?
It don't work.
That kind of blows my little finite mind. The story of Ruth is a tragedy and a triumph tied up in 4 short chapters. You see, Ruth was from Moab. Ruth was an idol worshiper. Ruth was an idolater.
Yes, sir.
And she was an intruder who had no business breaking into the greatest plan of history.
My God.
When God was looking for somebody for his seed to come from, why did he choose Ruth?
That's the truth.
Why was it Orpah? In the days of the judges, the Bible states that a famine came to the nation of Israel.
Yes, sir.
Elimelech, who was the husband of Naomi, took their 2 sons, Balaam and Chalon, to the land of Moab in search of food. Historians indicate to us that the famine very well could have been related to the raiding by the Philistines and the Amorites, and not necessarily a factor of drought and heat. Just as soon as the crops began to be ready for them to harvest, the enemy would swoop in and steal the crop from Israel. of the work of their enemies. Having established themselves there, they found the food that they needed once they got to Moab. They found job security necessary to support themselves. And in addition to this, both of the sons found wives among the daughters of Moab.
Yes, sir.
From all appearances, Elimelech and Naomi began to have some measure of success in their exodus from Israel. But after a decade, what is a decade?
A century.
10 years. After 10 short years, disaster would soon visit Elimelech and Naomi. First, Elimelech died.
Their daddy. Yes, sir.
Lever used to tell me, he said, you know, you got to provide for your family. That was his greatest concern when he was living.
Amen.
Was that if he died first, was Sister Avery taken care of. And he worked on that.
My God, Jesus.
Elimelech died, leaving Naomi as a widow in a strange country. Adding seeming insult to injury, Naomi then watched both of her sons die in this strange nation. And amidst all of her pain and grief, Naomi began to turn her eyes and her ears and her heart back toward her native land.
My God, Jesus.
She heard of the prosperity that was just beginning to present itself in Bethlehem, and she decided that it would benefit her to go back to her homeland and try to put what remained of her shattered life back together again. Naomi had 2 daughter-in-laws, and no doubt she laid in her bed at night, what am I going to do with the girls? The girls stayed with Naomi. The girls housed and habitat, and their lives were still around Naomi. And so Naomi tells them, she said, y'all need to go back to your parents.
My God, Jesus.
I'm too old. I can't have any more children. And you can't wait that long for them to get grown if I could.
All right.
Y'all need to go back to your family. But her daughter-in-laws decided at this point that they would return again with her to Bethlehem. No doubt they looked at her and she wasn't just a mother-in-law. No doubt they said, Mom, wherever you're going, we're going to go.
All right.
Naomi thought about taking these 2 Moabites who were idol worshippers and who worshiped strange gods. And no doubt she thought, how will they be receptive in Bethlehem when I take them back with me?
Okay.
Matter of fact, Naomi changed her name because she said, I left Bethlehem full. And now I'm going back, what? Empty. So she looked at the 2 girls and she said, y'all need to go back home. She tried to discourage Ruth and Orpah from going with her. And when Naomi first began her discouraging march, neither daughter was willing to go back to Moab. But the Bible indicates to us that the more difficult that Naomi painted the picture, that Orpah began to relent on her commitment. But to Ruth, this only increased her desire and determination to go with Naomi. That's the way it is with some people who walk into an apostolic setting. You're going to gain some things, but you're going to have to give up some things. I'll say it again. When you walk into that apostolic truth of God's Word, you're going to gain some things, but you have to understand you're going to have to give up some things.
There will. There will be. Yes.
This doesn't seem to discourage them all. turned back and went to Moab.
My God, Jesus.
What does Moab hold for Orpah?
Oh, Jesus.
In Ruth 1 and 15, I don't know if I gave that or not. In Ruth 1 and 15, one finds that she's returning back to her gods. Ruth 1 and 15. And she said, behold, thy sister-in-law is gone back unto her people and unto her gods.
False God.
Return thou after thy sister-in-law. And Ruth said, where you go,
I'm going.
I go. It reminded me of when the Lord was trying to get Moses to do something, and Moses says, God,
if you're not
if
going,
you ain't going,
then I ain't going.
I'm not going. Lord, if you're not in agreement with it, I'm not in agreement with it. God, if you hate this, I hate
this.
And when you begin to live your walk with God, you're going to have to understand your old gods have to go.
Yes, sir.
My daddy used to tell me often, tell all of my brothers and my sisters this. He said, I want y'all to understand something. There's only room for one bull on this Ponderosa, and I'm it. He said, I know you young guys think you're full of vinegar and you can do it, but I want you to understand, if I don't say it's going to be done, it don't get done.
I'm the Brahma.
So it was just a great understanding. If Daddy said okay, it was okay, and if not, even if Mama said it was okay, if Daddy didn't say it was okay, we didn't do it.
That's a fact.
And he drilled that into us. Sometimes he beat it into us.
That's a fact.
I see people spanking their kids, and I said, boy, I would love to have somebody to spank me that way. Don't do that.
It wasn't like that.
My daddy had the end of that cow whip, and he was pouring it on us.
Bull whip.
You mean he whipped you with a cow whip? It was about a 12-foot whip, and he would roll the handle and about 6 foot of it up, and he'd take the tail of that thing, and that's what he'd whip us with. You got a mean dad. No, I had a dad that loved me. And he used to tell me, I'm raising you for others. I said, Daddy, I don't care what others think. I do. How many times did he tell us, your last name is Perkins?
Don't forget it.
And when you mess up, I messed up. He said, you never bring reproach on that name.
On our name.
Matter of fact, he told me and my brother Jack, he said, if you ever get put in jail, don't call here.
Don't you dare call me.
I said, well, Dad, where are we going to call? He said, you better call somebody for some help, because you're not calling here. If they say you're in jail. And then later in life, he got drunk. He got picked up for DWI. And guess what? He called our house.
Yeah, they called out.
And when I picked up the phone, one wasn't even there. They said, this is a collect call from Johnny Perkins. Will you accept? I said, who's calling, man? Vernon Parish Sheriff's Department. I hung up. He only got one call. He couldn't call back. I paid for it later. He used to tell me, don't spit in the wind. If you do, you're going to get wet. I think of those things all the time. Things that he instilled in us. And when he came home, and he was so mad, he finally got out, he came home. Why did you hang up? I said, you called us all of our lives. If we called on the sheriff's department, you would hang up. I said, I was just following your instructions. It didn't go over as well as I thought it would. It was not long before Orpah turned and went back to Moab. She said, go back to your gods. Her god of idolatry, who would soon have a rule over her life once again. It is absolutely absolutely imperative that those who have experienced the infilling of the Holy Ghost, it is imperative that we understand the God that rules controls. And